Hi there. We're in day 161 of our Through the New Testament in a Year. And today we are beginning John 19. This is the sad part, right? The sad part. Jesus delivered to be crucified. Yesterday they just released Barabbas. Then Pilate took Jesus and flogged him, and the soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head and arrayed him in a purple robe. They came upon him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews," and struck him with their hands. Pilate went out again and said to them, "See, I am bringing him out to you, that you may know that I find no guilt in him." But he had him flogged and stripped and had the skin stripped off of his back so his ribs were showing, right? And those thorns were 3 inches long and hard as rocks, okay? Dug into his skull. So I have very little sympathy for Pilate, right? Okay, see, I'm bringing him out to you that you may know that I find no guilt in him. So Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said, "And then behold the man." When the chief priests and the officers saw him, they cried out, "Crucify him, crucify him." Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves and crucify him, for I find no guilt in him." The Jews answered him, "We have a law, and according to that law, he ought to die because he has made himself the Son of God." When Pilate heard this statement, he was even more afraid. He entered his headquarters again and said to Jesus, "Where are you from?" Jesus gave him no answer. So Pilate said to him, "Will you not speak to me? Do you know that I have the authority to release you and the authority to crucify you?" Jesus answered him, "You have no authority over me at all unless it had been given to you from above. Therefore, he who delivered me over to you has the greater sin." From then on, Pilate sought to release him, but the Jews cried out, "If you release this man, you are not Caesar's friend. Everyone who makes himself a king opposes Caesar." So when Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judgment seat at a place called the Stone Pavement, and in Aramaic, Gabbatha. Now it was a day of preparation for the Passover, and it was about the 6th hour. So he said to the Jews, "Behold your king." They cried out, away with him, crucify him." Pilate said to them, "Shall I crucify your king?" The chief priests answered, "We have no king but Caesar." So he delivered him over to them to be crucified. Okay, the crucifixion. So they took Jesus, and he went out, bearing his own cross, to a place called the Place of the Skull, which is in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with 2 others on one on either side, and Jesus between them. Pilate also wrote an inscription and put it on the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews." Many of the Jews read this inscription, for the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Aramaic, in Latin, and in Greek. So the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but rather this man said, 'I am King of the Jews.'" Pilate answers, "What I have written, I have written." Right? Was Jesus King of the Jews? Yes, he was. Was he King of the world? Yes, he is. Right? Was he the Son of God and God himself? Yes, he is. So, here you go. We'll mark that as complete. Right? And we will finish it tomorrow. Right? In the middle of the crucifixion. Okay? And divide his garments, and then the death side is pierced, buried. And we'll do that tomorrow. So, there you go. That's the sad part, right? Everything's for a reason. He knew what was going to happen, and he walked right into it anyways. That's amazing, huh? That's amazing. So, there you go. Catch up on any you may have missed. You can stay up to date with us, and give us a like if you think about it. Tomorrow we'll continue. See you then.